Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a very young woman. She was saying that she's only 28 years old, but the rituals that she did, quite scary. So this is the narration from that voice note that she sent to me. The narration reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a 28-year-old woman currently staying here in Zim, but I want to tell you the rituals that I did. So my brother, after me and my husband started to experience a lot of problems in our marriage, I then thought of going to South Africa just to take a break and to be able to raise some money so that I can take care of my mom, because my mom is someone who is always sick at all the times. The problem was that when I went to South Africa, I was a desperate young woman. Since I was a desperate young woman, there were men that were ready to take advantage of me. That is the disadvantage when you go to South Africa as a desperate someone. There are people that are quickly going to take advantage of you, especially if you are a woman. Well, my brother, I then started staying with this other man. So this man and his friends, they work in the same construction company. But what this man do is that if you are a woman and if you are desperate for work, the guy will tell you that he is going to speak with his boss so that you can be hired by the boss. The boss, he gets a lot of contracts. He goes around South Africa renovating the clinics as well as hospitals and schools. So they will tell you that the boss is going to hire you, and what you will be doing is that you will be cleaning after them. After they would have finished the building project, then the windows have to be cleaned, everything on the premises have to be cleaned. So if you want a job, you have to become a girlfriend, like staying with him 24/7, staying with him. But this guy, after he had told me and after I had agreed, I then found out that he was an abusive man and he was cheating on me. It was really painful. That was when I said enough is enough. It is far much better for me to go and work somewhere else. But what happened for me to say that enough is enough? Me and these other girls, we were in the same situation. These boyfriends of ours, they then dumped us because they had found new girlfriends that were desperate for work. I then went and I started working for this other white couple, and I was working as a stay-in maid. So it was four of us, me and those women that I used to work with, but they are all from Zim. We then created a WhatsApp group where we used to speak with each other, since now we were working in different places. So there was one amongst us who was born in Harare. The family, they come from Malawi. So ever since they came to Zim, they were just staying in Harare. They do not have any village where they say that this is where our homestead is at. They only have their house there in Harare. One day, when we were just discussing, she then said that, ladies, life is very difficult. She then told us a story about her auntie. She said that her auntie used to date this other white guy. When she was dating that white guy, that was when the auntie stole a lot of money from that white man. She could have been arrested, but because she knows a lot of powerful traditional healers, the matter, when it was taken to court, she was then just given a bailout and she won that case. And still, she managed to use that money to have a lot of businesses. When she told us this story, we were really interested, but we then forgot about it. It then happened that she then returned back home. When she went to Zim, when she was returning back to South Africa, whilst she was on the bus on the group, we then saw that she had sent a picture. And when we opened the picture, we saw that she was holding a huge sum of money. It was a lot of US dollars. She then said that, ladies, this is the money that I am having right now. I have made it in life. We waited for her to return back to the province where we were staying. When she told us that she was at her room, we rushed there, Brother Nashi, and we asked her where she had gotten the money from. She showed us the money. That was the first time ever in my life to hold something like 10,000 US dollars in my hands. I had never counted so much money in my life. She then said, ladies, have you forgotten that when I was on my way to Zim, you gave me this task to speak with my auntie. Well, I spoke with my auntie. We then asked her, what did her auntie say? She then said that she had been taken to this other village, and in that village, there is this forbidden mountain that is called Ngomakurira. And inside and in that forbidden mountain, there are a lot of caves. So she was taken into one of those caves, and inside that cave, she claimed that there was a traditional healer that stays inside that cave that gave her a flower that gives her money. The money just appears. As long as she gives milk to that flower, she will be making a lot of money. This was not blood money, she said. We were interested, Brother Nashi, but I had to return back to work. When I returned back to work, Brother Nashi, I kept on asking myself if I was supposed to do this, but my heart was saying no. And my heart was just telling me that this thing that I wanted to do, it was evil. It was not okay. It is far much better to work very hard, even though I was earning peanuts. It then happened, my brother, that I received a stressful message, and it was my sister who sent me that message on WhatsApp. She said that mom is really sick. Yeah. And I knew that mom was sick because she had been sick for a very long time, but this was very different because my sister said that if you do not send us any money, I am afraid that she is going to die. Brother Nashi, I said, what am I going to do? At that time, my friend had already returned back home because she said that she could not stay away from her flower for a very long time. And when I told my sister that, but I sent you some money because the previous week I had sent them about $100 so that they can buy mom some food because she didn't have any appetite for the regular normal food. She wanted the tasty food, so I had sent them $100, and that was the last money that I had. My brother, when this thing happened, you know how much money I had in my Mukuru card? I only had 30 rands, and it could not do anything for me. And when I was going through this stress, my boss and his wife, they went out shopping. When they returned back from Pick and Pay, they then placed these other groceries on top of their granite kitchen table, and they told me that I had to pack everything. So when I was busy working, Brother Nashi, I didn't notice that I had left one mayonnaise bottle that was inside one of the Pick and Pay plastic bags that they had left on that kitchen table. After I thought that I was done, I just grabbed all of the plastic bags because there was a place where we used to pack them. Then the bottle fell down and it fell to the ground, and there was mayonnaise all over the kitchen. You know, white people, they get so angry. The husband got so angry, he started screaming on top of his voice. I didn't know what to do anymore. I kept on sweeping and mopping the mayonnaise that was all over the floor. The white man and his wife, they went outside. They kept on insulting me, and I was so confused. On that same day, after I had knocked off, I then said, let me speak with my friends. I told my friends that this is what had happened. I then spoke with Grace, who was back home, not her real name. I said, Grace, I am going to come to Zim. My mom is sick. She's about to die. My boss at work has been insulting me, saying that I am a fool. But please, just give me some of the charms. Please just give me some of the charms that were given to you so that I can get some money, because I do not want my mom to die. Then I went to this other bus station where there were buses that will take you back to Zim. I went there and I spoke with the drivers and I said, please, is it possible for you to take me back to Zim, and then my friend will be waiting for you in Harare. She has a lot of money. Then the bus drivers said that they cannot do a pay forward for someone that is returning from South Africa going to Zim. They can only do a pay forward if there is someone who has a relative that is in Zim and that person wants that relative to come to South Africa, then they can do that pay forward. I spoke with my friend. I was confused. I said, I can't return back to work. I do not know what to do anymore. Then Grace said that, why don't you go and give your phone whilst we are on the call, and I can speak with these bus drivers. I then went to this small office where you buy the bus ticket, and I gave the man the phone, and then Grace spoke with that man. Then Grace promised the man that she was going to pay the man if he was going to let me on the bus, my brother. Then they said that they were doing me this great favor from South Africa and going to. So I traveled with that bus from South Africa, but you know, Brother Nashi, all the seats had been taken. So they gave me a bucket. I was sitting on the bucket from the province that we were staying, traveling all the way to Harare. It was really painful. I didn't have any money at all. Along the way, when people would buy their food, I'll just look. I was in a desperate situation. I was stressed out. When we arrived at Roadport in Harare, that was when Grace came and picked me up. She picked me up, Brother Nashi, and she took me first to her parents' house. She then said that there is something that I want to show you. This house that I want to show you, I had been keeping it as a secret from you guys because I wanted to do this grand opening so that we can have a small party. But promise me that if I take you to my new house, you are not going to tell our friends. Then I said, no, I'm not going to tell our friends. We then went there in Borodale. Then I saw that the house is really beautiful. As for her own covenant, I cannot speak about it because it is her own covenant, but there are some rules that she has to follow. The other thing that I realized about her is that she does not date men anymore. She prefers to date women, and I do not want to discuss a lot about that issue because it is a private business. I am here to talk about my own side of the story. We slept at her house. She showed me the flower that she was given by that traditional healer who stays at that forbidden mountain, Brother Nashi. Then I said, please take me to this mountain. My mom is sick. She is about to die. Please take me so that I can get some of this money and I can take my mom to the hospital. She then said, let me speak with my auntie. And as for her auntie, she was quite an old woman, and then the auntie said that instead of me taking your friends one by one to that forbidden mountain, why don't they all be in one place? Then I can take them all at once. So we had to wait for two of our friends that we had left back in South Africa. Immediately when we told them that they were supposed to come so that we can go to this forbidden mountain, like lightning, they came from South Africa in a flash. They were here in Harare. We then went with them to that forbidden mountain which is called Ngoma Kurira. When we went there, Brother Nashi, we were left there by Grace auntie, and we were staying with that traditional healer. Then that traditional healer told us that he wanted to impregnate us, and we were going to stay with him for 3 months. And I was even surprised that what did he mean when he said that he wanted to impregnate us? Then after the 3 months we were going to give birth, and I said, what kind of a baby is this going to be? But I just stayed quiet. Stayed in that ancient cave for 3 months, staying with that traditional healer. And that traditional healer, each and every day, he would have an orgy with us. He will sleep with me and he will sleep with two of my friends. If this man was a normal man, we could say that it was better, but it was just painful. The sex itself was just painful, Brother Nashi, because this man, when he stripped the first time, when he was about to make love and to have that orgy with us, we looked in horror as we saw that he did not have a normal manhood. On the place where he is supposed to have a manhood, he has a flower, and this flower, it is full of small thorns, like a rose. A rose has a lot of thorns. That is what is at the place where his manhood is supposed to be. This man then started making love to us using that manhood of his that looks like a flower. It was painful, Brother Nashi. This man, what he did is that he gave us this other cloth, and he told us that we had to bite that cloth as hard as we could because it was going to be painful. And the gods of that cave and the gods of the forbidden mountain, the spirits, they do not like to hear a lot of noise. They want people to appreciate the wealth that you are going to get after going through this horrific process. That man would make love to us each and every day. And whenever this man will be on top of me, Brother Nashi, as you will be busy making love to me, when that flower of his will be getting inside my private part and getting out, I would actually feel so much pain as you will be tearing the skin inside my private part. But because of the way that my mom was sick, I would close my eyes and I would tell myself that I am doing this for my mother. If I do not do this, where am I going to get the money to take my mom to the hospital? I do not want to lose my mom yet. That is what made me to be strong. After this man had slept with us, when we were in the middle of the first month, that was when we realized that we had fallen pregnant. And when 3 months came to pass, we then gave birth. Brother Nashi, it was a normal birth, a painful one. Any woman that has delivered a baby knows how much painful it is to be in labor. We felt the same labor pains throughout the day until that traditional healer delivered those things that we were carrying in our wombs one by one. When I was told that the process was over, when I felt that there was something that had came out, being pushed out by my womb, I looked, Brother Nash, even though I was exhausted. I thought that maybe it was some kind of a spiritual baby, but it was not a baby. It was a flower that just looks like that man's manhood. That is the type of a flower that I gave birth to. We were then told that we had to look after these flowers that we had given birth to. All that we had to do was to pour some fresh milk. If you maintain these flowers forever, you are going to enjoy the great wealth that comes from this mountain, he said. Brother Nashi, we then took our flowers. This man then told us that one of the most important rules that we have to follow is that we are not supposed to hang around each other for a very long time, because it will attract spirits that will end up exposing these things that we are doing. So these flowers, Brother Nashi, they give us a lot of money. When you wake up beside the flower, you will see that there will be a lot of money. These are my rituals. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear sister, such a young woman, but she said that this is what she had to go through. So does it mean that if you are a man, when you go there, that traditional healer, does he sleep with you, or what happens? Africa, strange things do happen.